Welcome to Rogers Center on a beautiful Friday night, the first interleague series of the season. New York Mets and David Wright are in town. David Wright leads the world in hitting with a .411 batting average. The Mets are the third best hitting club in the National League, batting .266 as a team, and they're 4 games over 500. Switch hitter Andres Torres starts things off. Justin Turner. David Wright, interleague career, he is a .314 hitter. His 80 RBI ties him for the franchise lead in interleague RBIs with the great Mike Piazza. Lucas Duda, Daniel Murphy, Scott Hairston, Kirk Neunice, and Rob Johnson is the catcher. Ronnie Cedeno, formerly of the Seattle Mariners, is playing shortstop tonight, and they're set to take on Ricky Romero,
who has had some issues his last couple of times out, and it really has to do with timing on the mound and getting the ball out of the glove a little bit quicker and staying in your lanes just a little bit more. He lost his first game of the season last time out against Minnesota, just 5 1/3 innings, a season-high 9 hits given up. He walked 5 batters, and he didn't strike anybody out. That's got to be an alarming stat with Romero, but he has worked very hard all week to work on his mechanics, and he seems to be throwing better strikes.
Rajai Davis starts in center field for the 4th time this season with the lefty on the mound. Yan Gomes made his major league debut here last night, got a couple of hits. He's back at third base tonight. Brett Lawrie is in game 2 of his 4-game suspension.
And going crazy, too.
Yes, he is. Doesn't know what to do, not in uniform. Ricky Romero with a 4-2 interleague record. Switch hitter Andres Torres will step in and bat right-handed against Romero. Fastball up and away. We mentioned Romero, and it's just been basically a little bit too much thinking going on, trying to be a little too fine with his fastball, and that's kept him out of the strike zone.
Ricky's the type of pitcher where he doesn't have to be perfect to get outs because his ball moves so much. He can aim right down the middle of the plate and throw a fastball, and it'll move to the corners. That's how good his stuff is.
Ground ball. That's a fair ball. Yan Gomes on the money. What an arm. That's the first ground ball Gomes has had in his 2 starts here.
Our first chance to see Yan Gomes. He looks fine. He has worked hard the last couple of days with Brian Butterfield around 3:30 in the afternoon, and he uncorks one. That's a seed across the infield for the first out. Plant that right foot and let it go.
Yan Gomes is a catcher. That was his position when he signed. He's got arm strength, and he was working hard with Brian Butterfield on the finer points of playing third base here on the artificial surface. Justin Turner makes a first pitch strike. This is an interesting matchup. Justin Turner and Ricky Romero were teammates in college. They had dinner last night. They had breakfast this morning, and Romero says, "I'm not going to look at you when you hit."
Because he might be laughing.
They were out at Cal State Fullerton together, and you can look at Romero. He's just looking at Aaron Seabe's signs. He doesn't want to catch the eye of Justin Turner. 0-2.
Like all players, I'm sure he wants to get the upper hand right here. Get a strikeout or 2 this game, and so he can have something on his ex-teammate.
Well, he already has something on him. He pinch hit against him, and he has 1 hit and 1 at bat and drove in 2 runs. So right now Turner has the upper hand. Pretty good changeup, missed inside. It's 1-2. Turner was the shortstop at Cal State Fullerton when Ricky Romero was their star pitcher. Ricky Romero is 3-0 here at Rogers Center this season. Opponents have hit just .200 against him. And he always pitched very well in this ballpark. And Romero is just trying to sort things out a little bit and get back on track. All that being said, he's still 4-1. Broken bat liner to the second baseman. And finally, umpire calls an out. That's the second out of the inning.
Take it right off the field turf. Well, let's take a look at the scattering report for Ricky Romero, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Still 2/3 of the time he's got to use his fastball. He can cut it, he can sink it, and he's got to use that to set up his other pitches. He's got an excellent changeup, one of the best in the game. His curveball is very good, and again, we'll watch that early in the game. If his release point is good, then you know that Ricky Romero's got a good curveball tonight, when he's getting a lot of swinging miss strikes or a lot of take strikes with his curveball.
David Wright, 4.11 batting average. That's the best in baseball. He has 4 homers. He's also driven in 22. Drives this ball to right. Bautista over near the line, and it's back into the seats, out of play. On this date a year ago, David Wright was hitting .226 compared to .411. OPS 741. He's up over 1.1. And he has turned things around. Not swinging at bad pitches, taking what the pitcher will give him, and not trying to carry the entire load of the offense.
I believe he had some injury issues last year. Wasn't that about the time that the owner made some comment to him about not being a superstar?
Yeah, Fred Wilpon, the owner, said, you know, David Wright's a good player, but he's not a superstar.
I don't know about that statement.
2-time Gold Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger. And not a team in baseball wouldn't love to have David Wright.
Plays the game the right way, power, speed, drives and runs, tough runs, plays every day. Yeah, I think he's a superstar.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Little looper. Bautista on the run, won't get there, and it bounces past him and bounces into the seats. That's a fortunate bounce for the Blue Jays, because Wright was thinking about 3. That ball stays in the ballpark, and by the time Bautista retrieves it, no telling where David Wright ends up.
Yeah, 3 or more if that ball gets down and into the corner. Bautista had a play like this the other night where he smothered it and held the batter to a single. This time he just can't get there or keep it in front of him. It bounces down the right field line and into the stands for a ground rule double.
Lucas Duda takes a pitch off the plate outside. Duda is serving as the DH for the Mets, and speaking with Terry Collins, he said this is the one area where we're really hamstrung. We don't have a DH in our roster, obviously, playing in the National League, and you ask a guy to go up there and basically pinch hit 4 times. Come on and missed.
They should be pretty good at that, though. You pinch hit so much. Yeah, in the National League, you pinch hit a lot. I find it interesting that they have a left-handed batter as their DH against Ricky Romero.
Well, Terry Collins knows Joe Madden very well.
There you go. The reverse splits.
Terry Collins, the manager of the Mets, was the manager of the Angels, while Joe Madden was the bench coach, and they talked an awful lot, and I'm sure Terry Collins looked at the splits in his 2nd season as the Mets manager. Also managed Houston and the Angels. 1-2, 2 outs, right at second. Curveball that Duda gets a piece of.
What we mean by the reverse splits, usually a left-handed pitcher's got better numbers against left-handed batters because they can spin that breaking ball away from them than right-handed batters. It's the opposite with Romero. He doesn't have any problem with the right-handers. It's the left-handers that have given him trouble.
Missed with that fastball away. I think Ricky heard a lot about that, and then when Joe Madden said if I had 9 left-handed bats, I'd put them all in against Ricky Romero. But that's the way Madden looks at splits and sets up his lineup accordingly. Duda strikes out. Ricky Romero pitches around the 2-out double by David Wright. He got the pitch away from Duda and records the strikeout. the 2-game series as they swept New York, and now they'll take on the Mets. Eric Thames, the interleague career numbers are pretty good. 14 for 38. He's hit 3 home runs, driven in 6, and scored 8 runs. He is back in left field. Johnson, Escobar, Bautista, the top 3 in the order. Edwin Encarnacion continues to hit well here at home. J.P. Aronsebi had a home run in last night's game. Francisco's the DH again tonight. Thames, Gomes, and Rajai Davis round out the lineup.
Jonathan Nice will take the mound for the New York Mets, just 25 years old. He was a 7th-round draft pick back in 2005 by the Mets. Now in his 3rd full season in the big leagues, a very good ERA of 3.40, 2-1 record. He has made 6 career interleague starts. He's 3-2 in interleague play.
Kelly Johnson will take a first pitch strike from Jonathan Nice. Nice has really been tough on left-handed hitters like Johnson. He's held them to a 136 average. They're just 3 for 22 against the Mets left-hander.
Lefties, like you said, are hitting 136 against Nice, and he also hasn't walked a left-handed batter this year. So this should be fun with Kelly Johnson.
I'll look back. I asked Terry Collins how he was playing his defense here in interleague play. He said just the same as we do in the National League. We shift a lot. And as we mentioned, his relationship with Joe Madden out in Anaheim really started to make him believe in the offensive numbers.
They'll look at all the charts and they'll figure out where a guy most likely will hit.
That's Tom Goodwin, the first base coach and the outfield coach. He's moving the defense around. And there's the first walk to a left-handed hitter all season long.
See, we mentioned it, and it happens for the Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the scouting report for young Jonathan Nice. He mixes well his pitches. Fastball 51% of the time. He has incorporated his cutter 24% of the time, and he learned that cutter back in Double-A in Binghamton from his pitching coach there, who is now his bullpen coach, Ricky Bonus. He's got a very good curveball and a developing changeup, so he's got all 4 of the pitches that you need to win.
Junel Escobar. Escobar had a couple of hits in 4 at-bats last night. One thing you recognize quickly about Jonathan Nice is he likes to work fast.
The Mets organization has a philosophy where they want to see 3 pitches or less per at-bat, and they want to attack the strike zone.
Base hit right field. Kelly Johnson keeps his eye on Kirk Neuenhuis and stops at second. Perfect setup for Jose Bautista.
Yeah, no place to put him, and he's been on one of those hot streaks. A high fastball last night from Phil Hughes. When Bautista doesn't miss it, that was his 10th home run. He is swinging a little bit earlier in the count. He's a little bit more aggressive early in the count, and it's starting to show in his last 7 games.
Last 7 games, he's hit .333. 9 hits, 5 of those have left the ballpark, and he's driven in 7. 18 games in interleague play a year ago. He had 8 home runs.
Not waiting around. He is aggressive when he is finding himself in hitters' counts, and he's also taking some pitches.
He takes a slow breaking ball for a strike. This is where Nice has really shined this year. Runners in scoring position. The National League has hit just 138 against Nice, 4 for 29 with runners in scoring position. Inside corner.
A couple of good pitches there. Get me over curveball, and then he comes inside. It can be sneaky fast. Fastball just 92 miles an hour, but he really drives it towards home plate.
Three-pitch strikeout. Bautista caught on the inside fastball.
It looked like a cutter, so he threw him a curveball, fastball, and then a cutter. Bautista thinks it's low, but home plate umpire, that's Mark Wegner, says no, plenty high enough.
Similar situation in last night's game. Kelly Johnson walked. Escobar singled to right. Bautista struck out. And then Encarnacion struck out. That was against Phil Hughes of the Yankees.
I think you have to be ready. Again, they have a philosophy of just 3 pitches or less per at bat, so to work quickly, throw strikes, pitch to contact, and make the batters hit the baseball.
And Edwin can hit the baseball. 13 homers so far. They're going to work him inside, and that's what surprised us about Tampa Bay and the Yankees. They both pitched him away, and they paid the price. Encarnacion had a 3-run homer on Wednesday night against the Yanks.
Trying to stay away from his power swing, but he just hit it to center field.
That time he got fooled on the off-speed pitch. So those numbers we mentioned, you can see that Neese really buckles down when he's got runners in scoring position. Bob Johnson is the catcher. He is making just his 3rd start behind the plate. Johnson spent time with the Seattle Mariners. Their regular catcher is on the disabled list, Josh Toll. 2-2. Cut out and missed. Encarnacion strikes out on an outside pitch.
Got your big hitters up, but Neese is buckling down. That looked like another cutter again, right on the outside corner, perfectly placed. And you were talking about how tough he is with runners in scoring position. He hasn't given up a hit with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
0 for 13 in these situations with 2 outs. First pitch breaking ball. J.P. Arencibia hit a 2-run home run in the 7th inning in last night's game against Corey Wade. Been a hot hitter. Well, you can see why the Mets locked up Jonathan Neese with a contract extension early in April. He throws strikes, he works quickly, and works to both sides of the plate.
Yeah, he's got plenty of pitches also. That cutter that he threw to Encarnacion was lovely.
Arencibia high and deep and gone. 3-run home run.
With Brett Laurie out for a couple more days, RBI situations are going to be there for J.P. Arencibia, and he's making the most of it. He's making the most of all of his hits. This is his 6th home run, and RBI is 21, 2 and 3. 1 swing of the bat. And we were just talking about Neese. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, hadn't given up a hit all year. There's the first one.
Base hit for Ben Francisco. He jumped on the first pitch. Home runs have been a problem for the Mets. That was the 40th home run they've allowed. Only Houston, Arizona, and Colorado have given up more. And that plays right into the Blue Jays' strength.
In this ballpark also. We've got some home run hitters. J.P. Arencibia, Encarnacion, Bautista. Eric Thames still hasn't been able to get on track with the home runs.
It's the first pitch strike. Thames did not start in the game last night. Rajai Davis played left. Up and in. Arencibia's home run, his 6th of the season. He now has 23 RBIs, and the Jays have homered in 11 straight games.
Keeps their streak alive of homering in interleague games also. I believe that's 9 straight interleague games that the Blue Jays have homered in. That's something that they want to change around this year right away. Their record in interleague play.
8-10 a year ago. Breaking ball called strike 3. But the Blue Jays, on the strength of J.P. Arancibia's 6th home run of the season, have taken an early 3-0 lead against the Mets. On the bat of J.P. Arancibia. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman. Murphy, like David Wright, off to a good start this season. Murphy's 9th in the National League with that .331 batting average. So Arancibia really picked up Bautista and Encarnacion. A 2-out home run.
It's got to be so demoralizing for pitchers where you give up a couple of base runners the first 2 you face, then you have the 3-4, you strike him out and you say, okay, I'm almost there, and you make a mistake and you've got a catcher like Arancibia knocks it out of the ballpark. It's got to be tough.
Ricky Romero falls behind 3-0.
Problems again that Ricky has had over his last couple of starts with the base on ball. Feels like it's a timing issue, that he's rushing himself just a little bit too much with his lower half, not letting his arm catch up to him, and then the ball just starts going all over the strike zone.
Take a look at Ricky Romero's start to the season. Made 5 starts in April, pitched well. His whip was just over 1. Opponents hit under 200. But in these 3 May starts, it's been a different story. ERA is over 5, and that's a surprising number. But also the whip. Romero always does a pretty good job of limiting the number of hits he gives up and minimizing on the base on balls.
Times he gets very frustrated when his pitch count gets up there and tries just a little bit harder. He's a good example of a guy who can just back off just a little bit and let the ball work for him. You don't have to throw a perfect pitch to get a big league hitter out.
Left fielder Scott Harrison. Now it's a ball and a strike. Harrison was signed as a free agent in January. Really struggled of late. Again, Romero misses the outside corner. It's 2-1. Sometimes you just throw to first just to break up the rhythm. You need it as a pitcher as much as anything else.
I'm sure pitchers can have bad rhythm, if you will.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you hear all the time about being in rhythm and having a good release point. Right now, his release point and rhythm is not very good.
I remember when Brandon Morrow was so good against the Angels, that's what he talked about. He says, my timing and rhythm were perfect. And he mentioned that he felt like he could throw a strike with his eyes closed. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, and it could be something as simple as maybe I turn just a little bit more. That's what Brandon Morrow's done. Kyle Drabek taking the ball out of his glove at a little higher spot in his windup. Something like that, and all of a sudden it all clicks in again, and then you don't think about it. Right now it looks like Ricky's really thinking about his mechanics instead of just doing it.
That's a line drive down the left field line. Murphy is around second. He's headed for third. Scott Harrison will jog into second with a double. Harrison lined it past the third baseman and went all the way down into the left field corner.
You fall behind, you've got to come in with a fastball, and Harrison doesn't miss it. He's been around for a while. He's a veteran. He knows how to get into good hitters' counts, and he doesn't miss that inside fastball just out of the reach of Yan Gomes. So the Mets come right back after the Blue Jays put up the 3 spot in the bottom of the first.
Kirk Neuenhuis, the right fielder. A couple of home runs. The rookie's hitting .291. First pitch strike. Whenever I'd catch a guy like Ricky Romero that was having trouble with location, trying to be too fine, I'd always give location, but sit in the middle of the plate. Just give him the biggest possible target you can. This is popped up. Escobar behind second base. One down.
The Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful night in Toronto. CN Tower right next door to Rogers Center. Center Island and Lake Ontario. Just a couple blocks away. Second and third, one out. Rod Johnson, the catcher.
Boy, that's really interesting that you say when you were catching pitchers like Romero that you would set up in the middle of the plate. That's exactly what J.P. Arencibia did the other night with Kyle Drabek. And I think he's going to do it and is doing it here tonight with Ricky Romero.
Bouncing ball. Escobar will go to first. Johnson is out, but the Mets are on the scoreboard as Rob Johnson picks up the RBI. Daniel Murphy scores.
Watching Arencibia now the first couple of innings, you don't see that exaggerated movement to the outside corner, the inside corner. It's almost like he's setting up in the middle and letting Ricky's ball take him to the corner.
Romero's got such terrific movement on all his pitches. It's difficult to pitch so fine to the edges. Johnny Cedeno, the shortstop, is batting now with 2 outs.
Gives that pitcher an area to really work with in the middle of the plate.
This is popped up into right field. Bautista, a long run. It's a foul ball. David Wright looped a double down the right field line in the first inning. Bautista going to hang out over toward that right field line a little bit with Cedeno in the hole 0-2.
Well, it wasn't hit very high for Bautista to run it down. You can see how he's shading him towards right field anyway. Doesn't think that he's going to be able to get around on Ricky Romero. And he just didn't have enough air underneath that ball for Bautista to catch it.
0-2 curveball that Cedeno gets a piece of. Donnie Cedeno is just back from the disabled list. He was activated on May 11th. Takes that pitch down there, and Sevilla blocks it.
He's got so many ways that he can strike you out with a good curveball. His changeup is one of the best in all of baseball. He can cut the fastball in or outside.
Cut on and miss. Cedeno strikes out. The Mets score one but leave one. Ricky Romero still holding on to that 3-1 lead. He picked up his first big league hit in his second at bat, and then would add a second hit in the 6th inning. Finished the night 2 for 3.
And he got a legitimate hit his first time up. No squibber or a guy falls down or an 85 hopper through the infield. A legitimate line drive to center field.
I went online today to check out the Brazilian sports pages, and there was not a mention of Yan Gomes. That I talked to him during batting practice. He said he was on the phone for 30 minutes to a sports TV show in Brazil and talked to several different sports reporters. Mark Wagner is now talking to Terry Collins. What happened? The umpires went in and put their jackets on and got some extra clothing because it's a little cool here at Rogers Center. And Mark Wagner said, you know what, I'm just going to explain everything to Jonathan Neese, because Neese was finished with his warm-ups and standing out there, but we didn't have any umps.
Yeah, we needed those guys. That's crew chief Wally Bell right there.
So Neese is now set. 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays. High and deep to left, and Yan Gomes is just in his first big league home run.
The guys in the bullpen have got to make a trade now. Wow.
Is it that easy?
He's making it look that easy. It's not, but the bat comes through so quickly. He gets it started. He starts from a high stance and then gets it started, and it comes through that bat zone so quick.
Now there'll be headlines in Brazil.
We might be talking an hour now, not 30 minutes.
What a great couple of days for Yan Gomes. And that was a shot. Rajai Davis, number 8 hitter, a couple of college teammates sharing the moment. J.P. Aronsebi and Yan Gomes played together in college. Rajai Davis hooks it just foul.
First pitch fastball. Watch how he gets through. Lifts that front leg. The timing is perfect. He hit 12 of them in AAA this year, so he knows how that feels. No doubt about it. The left.
You know what that had? That had sound. Players talk about the sound when somebody squares it up. It's a distinct ring, and Bautista knows what that's all about. Now the Blue Jays got that run back in a hurry. Once again, they have a 3-run lead over the Mets. Fits right in, doesn't he?
There's nothing like coming up and making an impression right away. When you get your first taste of the big leagues, you open up some eyes.
Full count to Rajai Davis. Boy, you saw Gomes look up as if to say, is this real?
Talking to him yesterday before his first game, said, hey, look, 60 feet 6 inches, it's the same game, don't try and be perfect.
Davis strikes out on the cutter down and in. That's the third strikeout, excuse me, fourth strikeout for Jonathan East.
And he said it to me today. He said, you know, you're right, it's still the same game, they've got to throw it, just be ready for it. Stuff is a little bit better than you see in the minor leagues.
Every night. That's the difference. You might see stuff occasionally in the minor leagues, but obviously every pitcher you see up here has a better fastball, a better breaking ball, and better command.
Yeah, better command. They have a plan, and they'll be around the plate. Just be ready for it.
Kelly Johnson started things off tonight with a leadoff walk. That set the table for Aronsebi's 3-run home run. Johnson reached, Escobar singled, and then after a couple of strikeouts, J.P. Aronsebi went deep. There is no place like home. The Blue Jays absolutely love hitting in this ballpark. And Johnson will walk for a second time tonight.
I think it suits their style, the Blue Jays style. They've got power hitters. The fast turf, I think, really plays up to the style that they like to play. And a ball flies out of here.
Hit 32 home runs at home now, compared to 21 on the road.
That's one of the things that John Farrell and his staff recognized as soon as they came over here, that because the ball flies out here, it's a home run hitter's park. They've got to fill up their pitching staff with ground ball pitchers.
And they've done that. Henderson Alvarez, Kyle Drabek, Ricky Romero, Brandon Morrow now. Well, Rob Johnson goes to the mound after Anise falls behind Yunel Escobar. Well, this is one thing that National League teams aren't really used to. A 9-man lineup. And when you play against American League East teams, each and every team is deep 1 through 9. Somebody can hurt you, as Yan Gomes did, hitting a home run out of the 8th spot.
Yeah, for the longest time last year, J.P. Aronsebi hit 9th. Ended up with 23 home runs.
I think the best example of that, when I played in Milwaukee, Gorman Thomas hit 8th. Ooh, he hit 38, 39 home runs.
You know, just that one spot in the batting order, that pitcher spot, you can pitch around the guy ahead of him, see if he can get himself out. You can go right after the guy if you want to.
If you look at a lot of National League teams, 7, 8, and 9 are kind of rest stops for pitchers. There's an inside strike. Neese has shown decent command of that inside corner.
He's got good stuff. Good curveball. I like his cutter. The one he used to strike out Encarnacion on the outside corner.
There goes the runner. The throw to second is into center field. Kelly Johnson will stay right there. Andres Torres backed up to play very well. Escobar strikes out on the pitch.
Kelly Johnson now perfect 5 for 5 in stolen bases. Rob Johnson's only had 2 attempts, and he has yet to throw out a base runner. No chance to get him right there as the ball sails into Johnson. Got a walking start over at first base. And he gets himself into scoring position.
Jose Bautista struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. Two outs. Johnson at second. Bautista swings right through it. It's a ball and a strike.
We were talking in the first inning how Terry Collins really likes to use that overshifting that we have started to see around baseball. And they're doing it now with Bautista. Runner in scoring position. Just keep the ball in the infield if you can.
Breaking ball just off the plate. This is almost identical to how the Yankees played Bautista. Cano is standing almost in the same spot that Daniel Murphy is.
To the third base side of second base. And the one time that they didn't do it, the New York Yankees, Bautista hit a ball right where he would have been standing for an RBI single.
That came in Tuesday night's game. Full count. Bautista with a good swing. We're seeing more and more good swings from Jose Bautista. And that was the norm the last 2 years.
Back on that back foot when he's taking pitches. That shows you that he's seeing the ball just a little bit better.
Bouncing ball through the infield into left. Here comes Kelly Johnson. The throw is not in time. Bautista goes to second. RBI single for Jose Bautista. It comes with 2 outs.
But if you're going to get it through that left side, if you're going to throw 3 infielders over there, you got to ram it through. That's exactly what Jose does. 3-2 pitch, and he hits it hard on the turf under the glove of Cedeno. Scott Hairston does not have an outfield assist, so really no chance to get Johnson. Jose takes that cutter and hits it hard and doesn't stop running. Once he sees that throw is over the cutoff man's head, he makes it easily in the scoring position.
There goes Bautista to third. The throw is in the dirt and into left field. Bautista gets up. Took him a while to get up, and Scott Hairston, the left fielder, got to the ball quickly, but Bautista picks up his 3rd steal.
Got a little bit slow getting up. He takes off right away. You see he's got his head down. He knows the ball's in left field. It looked like he stumbled a little bit over the bag and didn't want to risk getting thrown out.
Edwin Encarnacion struck out his first time. Went too far. 2 balls and a strike to Encarnacion.
This is where he has done some damage this year. Fastball counts.
Deep to center. Torres on the run. He's got room just in front of the track, and he'll make the catch. But the Blue Jays continue to pound the home runs. 2 more tonight, and the first big league home run for NYN Gomes. A leadoff homer in the second on the first pitch. A no-doubter. Enjoying those big comfort green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone is one of our Jays Care broadcast auction winners. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Congratulations for your contribution, and thank you very much for supporting Jays Care. And I know you'll enjoy the game sitting down there on the field. Leadoff man Andres Torres tries to push a bunt up the first baseline and fouled it off. Justin Turner on deck. Blue Jays are up 5-1. NYN Gomes. Boy, what a storybook start to his career. Gomes had 2 hits in his major league debut. It's his first home run in his second big league game.
No cheapies either.
No, he's hit the ball hard.
Yeah, center field.
We saw this all spring long.
7 doubles and a home run in 20 games from him. 23 total bases in 20 games. Total bases, you know, you hit a home run, that's 4 total bases. Double, that's 2. That's pretty impressive.
Ricky Romero walks the leadoff batter here in the third. Nobody out. Man on. Let's check in with Jamie Kemp. Philadelphia's had trouble scoring runs, and Daniel Bard certainly helped them out. Cole Hamels, the starter for Philadelphia in that ball game. Justin Turner takes a strike. Ricky Romero had a leadoff walk in the second. He came around to score. Oh, 0-2.
Those last 2 pitchers, those were perfect. He's had a little bit more of a turn. Kept his front shoulder closed just a little bit longer. Let his arm catch up to him. And he had to dive to that changeup that we've seen before in the past. Pitching is timing, just like hitting is. And if your lower half is getting out there, your hips are opening a little bit too quick, your arm is not in a good spot, and you just can't get that release point that you need to drive the ball to the lower part of the strike zone. So you try different things. You try taking the ball out of your glove a little bit quicker. You keep your shoulder closed just a little bit longer. Maybe show your back pocket to the catcher a little bit longer when you turn. Stay over the rubber a little bit longer.
Back to Romero. Escobar at second for one. Back to first. Double play. Encarnacion kept his foot on the bag, and the Blue Jays turn yet another double play. That's 49 double plays now turned by the Blue Jays.
A couple of things happened on that play. When Romero caught it, remember, when he turned to go to second base, he's now going back up the hill on the mound. This is a tough play for a pitcher. He's got to throw up and over. Makes a good throw to Escobar. The timing is messed up a little bit, and that makes the play by Encarnacion a little bit special. Uses the bag and pushes off from the bag to make that catch and complete the double play.
Edwin making his 11th start at first base. David Wright high and deep to left field. Thames back at the wall and makes the catch. David Wright jumped on the first pitch. Thames ran it down up against the wall and left. In the 5th spot the last 2 nights, and he looks like he likes it.
Yeah. Corey Wade, see ya. Looked like a changeup. He went down and got it. And now Jonathan Neese with a slider. And he went down and got that one too. Become a pretty good breaking ball hitter.
He does a good job on waiting back. Another drive to center. Andres Torres. This one is not coming back. Aaron Sevia, his second of the night.
Fastball in, and watch how short he gets his bat bed to the ball. Earlier this year, he was getting underneath that pitch and popping it up. Now he's driving through it. And he's got a multi-home run game.
Ben Francisco had a single the last time up. Jonathan Neese can't believe the ball went out of the ballpark. Remember, he pitches at Citi Field.
Yeah, that's a big ballpark.
Since J.P. Arencibi was lifted for the pinch hitter Omar Vizquel, he's hit .310 with 5 homers and 9 RBI. He was disappointed he didn't get a chance to hit in that situation, and maybe he's just making sure that he doesn't get lifted. Francisco gets jammed, pops up to the second baseman. First out of the bottom of the third. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Interleague play and some interesting matchups. The Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Mets. Tampa Bay was 12-6 last year in interleague play, and that's where the Blue Jays really have to make a move. They have to play much better against the National League teams. For their career, they're 123 wins against 142 losses. Eric Thames. Base hit to center field. Everybody's got their hitting shoes on tonight.
They got them on tonight. Ball that's elevated, and Eric Thames, it doesn't matter if it's a lefty or a righty, he can hit. Don't waste any time.
I tell you what, we talked about baseball being such a unique game. You can turn around your fortunes overnight, and they look flat against Tampa Bay. And anytime you go up against Tampa Bay, the pitching can make you look flat. But Arencibi's second home run of the night. The Blue Jays have now hit 10 home runs in 5 games on this homestand.
And that loss to Tampa Bay, that second one on Tuesday, I don't think I've seen the team and the coaches or anybody as down as they were after that game.
They had David Price down 3-0 and then let him off the hook. And I think that's really kind of the low point. They had a 3-7 stretch. They didn't play well on the West Coast. Lost the last 2 games in Oakland.
That was the end of that stretch right there. You know, for a road trip that started off so well. It didn't finish well, and then they came home and they were hitting and just didn't look right. And all of a sudden, the Yankees come into town and they turn it up a notch.
Gomes chases a pitch up and away. He got about halfway through that swing and recognized it was a ball. Tried to shut it down. John Farrell has been shuffling up the lineup, obviously with Brett Lawrie out and Adam Lind demoted. Lineup looks a little different, and Yan Gomes looks at strike 3.
You know, you were talking about the Blue Jays turning around their record in interleague. If they are, it's going to be against a couple of teams that have played really well in interleague play. New York Mets in their history 14-4 in interleague versus the Blue Jays.
Rajai Davis struck out his first time up. This is the first time the Blue Jays and the Mets have played since 2006. They last played right here at Rogers Center in 2006, and the Mets won 2 of those 3 games. Rajai Davis puts a charge in. 1 home run Davis. His first of the season.
Breaking ball to Rajai Davis. He's made a couple of adjustments, and one of them is he's swinging and keeping both hands on the bat a la Edwin Encarnacion, and you can see from that follow through it's a power stroke now, long and deep to left field. 2 more runs across the board, and the power is out for the Blue Jays.
The Mets have now given up 43 home runs. That's the most in the National League. The Yankees have given up the most in baseball at 49. And the Blue Jays have allowed 46. Seattle has allowed 44.
The Yankees doesn't surprise me because of their ballpark.
Yeah.
You know, that's not more about their pitchers. It's more about the ballpark. What surprises me about the Mets is their ballpark is a big ballpark. I know they've moved the fences in a little bit this year. Manny Acosta now up for the Mets.
Well, that's the last thing a manager wants to see, is having to get his bullpen up early in a ball game in the first of a series. Kelly Johnson pops this one to left. Scott Hairston works his way underneath it, and the inning has come to an end. But another 3-run inning and 2 more home runs. J.P. Aronsebian leads it off with his second homer of the night. And then Rajai Davis, his first long ball of the season, a 2-run homer. The Edmonton Oil Kings and the Shawinigan Cataracts catch all the action right now on Sportsnet. All the channels, the great Junior Hockey Memorial Cup going on right now. Lucas Duda struck out his first time up. That ended the first inning. 8-1 Blue Jays. Duda fouls it back. This is the second time on this homestand Blue Jays have hit 4 home runs in a game. Did that Wednesday night against the Yankees. 4th time they've had 4 home runs in a game this season. Duda strikes out, first out of the inning.
Something about coming home. Sleeping in your own bed, right? Getting some home cooking. Jonathan Meese doesn't know what hit him.
The Mets, as we mentioned, now lead the National League in home runs allowed with 43. The Blue Jays have hit 20 home runs in their last 11 games. That's the most in the majors over that stretch. Daniel Murphy fouls it into the seats.
You know, and now with the lead of 8-1 for Romero, he can concentrate on the middle of the plate and just attack. And that's what it looks like he's starting to do.
Yeah, right now you've got a 7-run lead. Shoot for the big part of the plate and see what happens.
Yeah, make them hit their way on it.
Give you a chance to really work on things.
Yeah, that's the second thing about that. Not walking guys, you can work on a few things. Well, what if I take a little something off here and sink the ball a little bit more? Let's see what happens. You don't have to be so fine. You don't have to start shooting for the corners.
Ball is driven to right. Bautista back, looking up. That ball is off the wall. Murphy is headed for second. He'll stop there with a 1-out double. His 12th double of the season.
0-2 pitch. Looked like he tried the front door cutter, and it was up and in. Too much of the plate with an 0-2 count.
Scott Hairston had a double down the left field line his first time up. The left fielder will step in with a man at second. Hairston has spent most of his career in the National League. Came up originally with Arizona. 2004 made his debut, played in 101 games. Went from Arizona to San Diego, and from San Diego to Oakland. Spent 60 games with Oakland in 2009.
Part of the Hairston family.
His brother Jerry Hairston with the Dodgers signed as a free agent. Their father Jerry Hairston, longtime player with the White Sox predominantly, and their grandfather Sam Hairston played in the big leagues as well. Quite a family. Three and 0. That's a strike. So difficult when you don't have confidence in your pitches. You can't even come up with a good game plan. You're just kind of wondering what pitch is going to work.
You can get a feel for it down in the bullpen. Right now he's fighting himself.
Save during the homeowner sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Roof open at Rogers Center. Friday night, first of 3 against the New York Mets, first interleague series of the season. Kirk Neuenhuis, the right fielder, popped up to short his first time up. It's a first pitch strike.
Wait a minute, Buck.
Yeah, that's us.
I don't see any
right there.
Like little thing holding that one person back. Like a
there's a tether.
Cage?
No cage. Just a little rope.
How about a railing?
No railing. Just walk around the edge. Got to be the coolest thing in Toronto.
I don't know about this.
You just put the safety gear on, hook onto the rail, and just walk around. Or we could jog around, or whatever you feel like.
Jog around? How many laps are we going to do around the needle?
Neuenhuis fouls it off. It's 1-2.
Make a pitch here. He's got a changeup, and he's not afraid to use it to left-handers. That's been a big pitch for him in his career versus lefties. Or he can go with a breaking ball.
Missed with that fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are in the 4th inning. Just missed the outside corner. Ricky Romero is one of the hardest working starters, always trying to iron things out, and it's been a frustrating couple of starts for him.
Yeah, he was out here earlier on his throw day trying to find it. Always trying to get better. Think of ways to get out. Time it looked like he cut that fastball on the outer half to get a big strikeout.
His 4th strikeout, 2nd of the inning.
You know, one thing that he does, he really competes. I mean, he gets out there. I mean, he wants to shut down anybody every inning that he's out there.
That's difficult for a starter too. You only get to play every 5th day. You have to sit around and think about the bad games you've had, and you don't get a chance to erase the memory like a position player. Bob Johnson bounces it to 3rd. Gomes steps on the bag. That ends the inning. The Mets get a double and a walk, and Strand 2. Junel Escobar off to a good start tonight. Jose Bautista, an RBI single, and Edwin Encarnacion when we come back. Jonathan Nice is out of the ballgame after 3 innings, and he was hit hard. 3 innings, 8 hits, 8 earned runs. He gave up 4 home runs, walked 2 and struck out 6, and threw 77 pitches. His ERA coming into this game was 3.40. After 3 innings and 8 earned runs, it jumps to 4.85. Manny Acosta making his 17th appearance of the season.
Acosta was claimed off waivers from the Atlanta Braves March of a couple of years ago. He's got a good arm. He is basically the long man out of the bullpen for the Mets. And they're going to need some innings out of him tonight.
Escobar goes after the first pitch and pops it in direct. Kurt Neuenhuis has it. 1 down.
He's had some control issues in his career. There's nothing wrong with his fastball. He reached 92, 95 miles an hour. A slurve and a split that he will use. So Terry Collins needs some innings out of his long man, Manny Acosta, tonight.
Jose Bautista had an RBI single his last time up. Former Blue Jay John Roush is down in the Mets bullpen, as is Frank Francisco, 2 former Blue Jays signed in the offseason with the Mets. like a splitter down and away for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The infield with the right-hander in the game against Bautista. Now 2 infielders on each side of second.
Last time with the lefty, there were 3 infielders on the left side.
Full count.
Costa throws a little bit harder than Jonathan Neese. For Jose, though, I think the harder the better.
Right now, where he can just gear it up and turn it loose. And he got the off-speed pitch. Bautista strikes out for a second time tonight.
It's just not being familiar with the guy. What is he going to throw me 3-2? That looked like an off-speed pitch that went straight down on Jose's way out in front.
Those are the perils of interleague play. See pitchers you're not that familiar with.
Or what their breaking ball will do. I'm not afraid to throw it. 3-2.
Jonathan Neese gave up 4 home runs here tonight in 3 innings of work. First time in his career he's given up 4 home runs in a game. When you look at his stuff, he had 6 strikeouts. He just ran into some red hot hitters. J.P. Arencibia with a pair of home runs. John Gomes, just fresh up from AAA, was swinging a hot bat. And Rajai Davis connects for his first home run.
Yeah, runs into a team that looks like they're starting to come around offensively. Long balls is such a big part of what the Blue Jays do.
Full count. Edwin has struck out and flied out. Pops it out of play. Coming into this game, Encarnacion hit .353 here at Rogers Center. It's best average on the Blue Jays team. He's always hit very well here. And you compare that to a .210 average on the road for Encarnacion. Dwayne Murphy would like to see a little better balance, but he's still putting up the numbers. Encarnacion will take a 2-out walk and the bend back from that inside heater.
Yeah, leaning out over the plate, looking for something that he can extend on. And Acosta backs him off.
You know, we knew the Blue Jays were a powerful team, but in April they just had 27 home runs. They really weren't clicking. Here we are on the 18th of May. They have 28 already. And J.P. Arencibia has done his fair share of boosting the numbers.
We talked a couple of times already this year that we felt like there was more there offensively from the Blue Jays, and they just haven't been clicking. And what's this team going to look like when they start hitting on all cylinders? I think we're starting to see that. J.P. Arencibia got off to a slow start. He seems to be finding his home run swing. Same with Bautista.
Went too far on that breaking pitch. Arencibia has now hit 6 home runs in the month of May. And he's got a .355 average. He's 16 for 45 this month. Isn't it amazing how hitters go up and down, hot and cold, and you can have a bad stretch of games? And that's what I was talking about with a starter. A starter has to wait 5 days between starts. A hitter goes 0 for 4 tonight. He could have 4 hits tomorrow and everything's rosy.
And you forget about the offers, you know. But they want consistency. That's what hitters and everybody wants, consistency.
And Sebia strikes out, 2 strikeouts in the inning. Now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio here at Rogers Center. Halifax, Nova Scotia will be the site August 5th, 6th, and 7th at Mainland's Common Field. The instructors include Jose Cruz Jr., Jason Dixon, Sandy Alomar Sr., Jesse Barfield, and Dwayne Ward. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy. The Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Donnie Cedeno, the number 9 hitter, takes one down and in. Mentioned Cedeno just off the disabled list. He had a left intercostal strain that put him on a DL back on the 21st of April.
How about the Mets? Jose Reyes, no Jose Reyes. He leaves as a free agent. Jason Bay's been on the DL for a long time this year. Josh Tolley, their starting catcher, on the DL also. And there they sit.
Johan Santana has a 1-2 record, but a 2.89 ERA. He's made 8 starts. He's healthy again.
They're just 2.5 games out of first place.
R.A. Dickey is 5-1. A knuckleballer has pitched well again. But Santana, boy, to see him healthy, he changes your whole personality as a pitching staff.
They've got some legitimate starting pitching, I think, and a real good chance in the National League East.
Leadoff walk. That's the 4th walk by Ricky Romero, and you see the walks to lead off an inning. Yu Darvish has 9 for the Texas Rangers. Ricky Romero has 8. Ronaldo, Jimenez, Liriano, and Masterson. Boy, those leadoff walks, they'll kill you.
Yeah, that's the one list you don't want to see your name on or be the leader of.
Back to the top of the order. Andres Torres has one of those walks tonight. Ball and a strike. Ricky Romero has started the double play here tonight that came off the bat of Justin Turner back in the 3rd inning. Torres fouls it off his leg right at home plate. Look at the Mets, and they're missing some key parts to their team with injuries. Ruben Tejada has been a guy that has been playing very well at shortstop. Josh Tolway, you mentioned the catcher. Jason Bay. Mike Pelfrey. He's out for the year. That was a tough blow.
Their bullpen has really not done a whole lot for them. They've got some arms down there, but again, just 2.5 games behind the Atlanta Braves in the National League East.
Yeah, the bullpen has 9 blown saves, and that was a problem area for them last year. They thought they'd fixed it in the offseason. 1-2. Poked foul.
Spent a lot of money on that bullpen to sign some veterans to shore it up.
They signed John Roush. You mentioned that. Also signed Frank Francisco. Vijay Carrasco was just dispatched to the minors. Here's his pop into right. Bautista is there. Torres is retired. Hey, how about that? Well, happy birthday, pal. There it is, and it's right there on the TV. Not a problem at all. Just got to talk to the right people.
That's right.
So happy birthday. And he didn't even say what your name was, so I can't say happy birthday.
But you got yourself on television, right? There's some Michigan fans, and Dad's got a Toronto jersey.
Great way to spend your birthday, huh? Sitting in center field watching a ball game. Justin Turner has gone 0 for 2. That's 2-0 pitch down Stingers. So it's 2 balls and no strikes to Justin Turner.
If you have trouble throwing strikes or borderline strikes, you're not going to get. That would look like it could have been called a strike.
Hot shot. Kelly Johnson Escobar at second. Back to first, and Justin Turner has just grounded into a double play for the second time tonight. Ricky Romero gets out of it. Bring any gently used baseball equipment or monetary donations to gates 3, 5, 10, and 13 pregame. Help kids in need this summer. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. 107 start. Come on down and make a donation. Ben Francisco has singled and popped up. Blue Jays lead 8-1. Ben Francisco hits a line drive to left. Scott Hairston gets turned around but stays with it and makes the catch. That ball was hit hard. Ricky Romero has an 8-1 lead, but it's been a frustrating start for him again. We mentioned his control is a problem, and Bruce Walton is giving him some encouragement, saying, hey, you got some room to work now. You can go out there and get something accomplished here.
Yeah, you can always accomplish something when you go out there. And this is a great time for him to figure something out. You know, if he just throws 5 innings and then they run him out of there, he doesn't have a chance to, maybe goes out there in the 6th inning and finds what's the problem been for him.
You never know when it's going to happen, and you've got some leeway here. The score is very much in the Blue Jays' favor. Might be a pitch, it might be a feel, whatever it is. You don't want him leaving this game sitting in the locker room for the next 4 days wondering if it's going to be the same next time.
Right.
You'd love to have him have a couple of good clean innings walking off the field thinking, okay, that's over with.
And you can see it in his face too, that he's thinking about it, worried about it. Run him out there, get a good feel, maybe you find something. The problem with the walks, he's had 4 of them tonight in 5 innings, and it's really run his pitch count up there that they might only get 1 more inning out of it.
There's a high strike call to Eric Thames. He strikes out for a 2nd time tonight.
Save during the homeowner sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Yan Gomes quickly made a name for himself here. Got a home run in his first at bat. He also struck out. Waves at that breaking pitch. 0-2.
It will be interesting. And the reports that we are hearing about Vladimir Guerrero have been all good so far. It's early. But when he is ready, what the Blue Jays tend to do when Guerrero comes back, and what to do with Yan Gomes.
Yan Gomes is a young player. He's 24 years old, and I doubt the Blue Jays want him sitting on the bench in the big leagues. If he's here and playing, that's one thing. But if he's not going to be playing, they're probably going to think long and hard about making sure that he continues to develop.
Just 24 years old. The youngest player in their starting lineup tonight.
That hard splitter is bouncing in there. Manny Acosta on in relief of Jonathan Neese. Acosta's 2nd inning of work. And for Yan Gomes, obviously we have seen in 2 games that he can hit the fastball. Yeah. And all the pitchers around are going to note that too. So he's going to have to adjust and make sure if you do get a fastball, you don't miss it.
That will get around, that he can hit a fastball.
Stays on that high breaking ball and hits it hard but foul. Dad's hoodie's always good for something, isn't it? Outside, Gomes takes a 2-out walk. So that'll bring Rajai Davis to the plate. Davis homered in his last at bat, his first home run of the season. You know, you mentioned his 2-hand finish with both hands on the bat. I asked him about that today, and he said, yeah, he said, I went back and looked at some notes from Oakland a couple years ago when I really hit the ball well. And I reminding myself, keep 2 hands on the bat.
Well, what that does is it keeps your front shoulder in there, and it keeps you balanced. Last year, remember, especially from right-handed pitchers, they would throw him breaking balls away, and it's like he wasn't seeing it. He was off balance. just seems to be a little bit more stable when he's at the plate. He's hit the ball hard from opening day. Making some things happen, and he's going to get some more playing time. John Farrell has said we got to get him in the lineup. He does so much for this team offensively.
Well, he's a distraction. He gets on base. Pitchers start to divide their attention between the hitter at the plate and Rajai on the bases. And then he can steal. He's got 6 steals so far this year. And he's a good outfielder.
Creates uneasiness is how it was described to me today about what he does to the opposition when he is getting on base.
Hits this ball hard and deep and gone. Rajai Davis, his 2nd home run of the night, the 5th Blue Jay home run. First time he's had a multi-home run game.
Quick to the ball. 2-1. Get on top of it and send it out of here. That's how you hit a high fastball.
With 2 hands.
With 2 hands. Stay short to the ball.
Oh! First 5 home run game of the season for the Blue Jays. Runs on 9 hits. Rajai Davis wants to play a little more.
Yeah. Keep those reminders about keeping your both hands on the bat.
Managers are funny that way, aren't they?
Yeah, when you get hits,
you play.
Yeah.
Breaking ball. Kelly Johnson strikes out, but the Blue Jays put up a 2 spot here in the 5th. Rajai Davis and J.P. Arancibia have both homered twice here tonight. Davis, a no-doubter, jumped on the high fastball. Lansing, Noah Syndergaard, the big right-handed pitcher, last night, 4 innings, no hits, no earned runs, a walk and 3 strikeouts. He's had a 0.56 ERA in his 5 starts. That line is impressive, but what impressed me more about what Syndergaard did last night were his quotes after the game. He's 19 years old, and he said, whenever the hitters got on my fastball, I slowed their bats down, threw them the changeup. That sounds like a 29-year-old comment, not a 19-year-old.
That's way beyond his years for a 19-year-old to understand that. Every night we hear raving reports from these young 19-year-old pitchers in low A ball.
Yeah, and it's been pretty consistent from Lansing, and in that game as well, they just continue to pitch well and dominate the league, and you just wonder if it might be time to challenge him a little bit and bump him up to the next level.
They did it last year to Drew Hutchison. That's the same league that Hutchison started in last year, and he was just toying with those hitters down there. They moved him up to High A, which is Dunedin in the Florida State League, and he dominated there, and he ended up in Double A last year.
David Wright taps it back to Ricky Romero. That's the first out of the 6th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, Justin Verlander has a 15-2 record in interleague play, and he can dominate some National League teams as he is tonight in Pittsburgh.
He's in Pittsburgh, so he gets the pitcher. Doesn't have to deal with the DH tonight.
6 1/3, a walk, 8 strikeouts. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's okay.
Actually, that game is in Detroit. They are at home at Comerica, and the Pirates are trailing 4-0. Lucas Duda has struck out twice tonight against Ricky Romero. This is a Friday night opener of a 3-game series against the New York Mets. 26,715 in attendance. And then both Saturdays and Sundays games, they both start at 1:07 p.m. Duda fights off that fastball.
He's challenging him, isn't he? I thought he might show him his curveball.
I think he just wants to see if he can get that fastball where he wants it.
The luxuries of having a 9-run lead. There it is.
There's the curveball, and Duda strikes out for a 3rd time.
It's a good curveball when he's releasing it on time. Starts it high in the strike zone, and where it ends up down and away to a right-hander, or excuse me, a left-hander for the strikeout. 5 of them now tonight for Romero.
Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, has been aboard twice. He walked and scored in the 2nd, and he doubled in the 4th. Ball on a strike. Murphy's got a pretty good swing. We mentioned coming into this game, he was 9th in the National League with a .331 average.
It's short and compact, and keeps that front shoulder in against those left-handers.
Stayed back on that breaking ball, got a piece of it to stay alive.
Hitting .281 versus left-handers, .362 versus right-handers. Had a good month of May also, .386.
So the hitting coach Dave Hutchison's on the mound, on the dugout, and his team, we mentioned, he came into this game batting .266 as a team. But the problem they have is they don't have much power. Only the Padres have hit fewer home runs than the New York Mets.
Tough to strike out. There's Jason Bay. They could really use his power bat if he can get back in the lineup. He's on the disabled list.
And Bay's on the DL with a non-displaced fracture of a rib on the left side. There's a good breaking ball, and Murphy strikes out, and that's that inning Ricky Romero was looking for. A 1-2-3-6 inning with a couple of strikeouts. Escobar, Bautista, Encarnacion, meet of the order when we come back. To have a positive moment, and that was a great way to finish. So 1-2-3-6th inning, and he finishes with a couple of strikeouts, and he's in line for the win. But I think more importantly, he walked off the mound after a good inning.
Look at the body language. That'll do it for you.
Jordy Valdespin has come into the game defensively at shortstop. With that, Ronnie Cedeno moves to third, taking David Wright out of the game. So Wright is done for the night, and he has been battling the flu. He has been sick, so they give him a chance to take the rest of the night off.
Quick turnaround tomorrow. Day game tomorrow. Why not?
Escobar looks at one down and away. It's a ball on the strip. Yunel has singled and scored. He's 1 for 3. Carlos Villanueva, the right-hander, starting to loosen up.
I think that speaks volumes of what just happened over the last 2 innings with Ricky Romero. We had that shot of him at the end of the 5th inning. He looked puzzled. He looked discouraged, upset.
Off the glove of Valdespin. He kind of assumed he was going to catch it, and he didn't get up high enough. Escobar hit it hard.
As he picks up his 2nd hit of the night. And then we saw that shot of Romero in the 6th when he came out of the ball game. He was happy, smile on his face. You see Valdespin ball finds him right back into the game. It goes as an error.
They have just switched it. I was going to say that's a tough error when you're hitting at home. He hit that ball on the line. The shortstop reached for it, just didn't make the catch. So it's a base hit.
Yunel's got to look back up at the scoreboard and see that they changed it back to a hit. He looked at the scoreboard and was upset. Did you see that? When he saw error flash.
Yeah, that was clearly a base hit. Jose Bautista. The Blue Jays have hit 5 home runs. It's the first 5 home run game they've had since September 30th of 2010. In that game, they hit 6 at Minnesota when Jose Bautista hit home runs number 53 and 54. Aaron Sebe with a pair tonight.
He's going to have a chance to have 3.
Rajai Davis with a pair. Bautista walks. So Aaron Seiba will grab his helmet. He's hit in the 5th spot the last 2 games. 1 for 4 last night with a home run. He's 2 for 3 tonight with 2 home runs. This ball club has turned over dramatically. We mentioned 2010, right at the end of the season. Bautista had that great finish to his season. And look at the lineup on May 18, 2010. Fred Lewis, Aaron Hill, Adam Lynn was the DH, Vernon Wells was in center, Lyle Overbay was the first baseman, Alex Gonzalez was the shortstop. Bautista, not only was he in right, but look where he was hitting. He was hitting 7th in the lineup, and then Edwin Encarnacion, who was playing 3rd base, was hitting 8th. Sean Markham is also off this team now, but it's been a dramatic turnover in just 2 short seasons.
8 of the 10 players on that roster there that you saw, that lineup, gone out of the organization. Guys hitting 7th and 8th are now hitting 3 and 4.
Encarnacion takes a ball outside. Edwin's gone 0 for 2. Alex Anthopoulos has been the architect of that turnover, and he's done a terrific job. It's one thing to turn a team over. It's another thing to become more athletic and younger.
That's the idea. That was the plan that they put together with this team when Alex Anthopoulos took over. They wanted to get younger, and he's starting to succeed at that and have a few more athletes on the field where they can do more things.
Now the game has changed, and the more versatile you are, the better opportunities you have to stay away from long droughts. And Encarnacion will walk back-to-back walks. We mentioned the position players and Sean Markham in that lineup, and then you look at the difference in the starting pitchers. Merle Markham. Then you have Dana Eve and Brett Cecil. Mark Zepchinski was traded. Jesse Litch is still recovering from his problems in spring training. Brian Talent, Sean Hill. Kyle Drabeck made a couple of starts at the end of 2010, and Brad Mills.
All the pitchers who made starts for the Blue Jays that year, how they have turned that over also.
Manny Acosta is out. We'll go to the bullpen. The Blue Jays in a laugher. So the Blue Jays will welcome in the New York Mets for Game 2 of this series. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. Special kids prize tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After each Saturday home game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 for tickets. Log on to BlueJays.com. Post off by most Rogers Plus locations. And that kid will be 10 years old in a day tomorrow. And they can run the bases. JP Arencibia with the bases loaded. First pitch down and away for a ball. Arencibia has hit 2 home runs tonight. The new pitcher is Ramon Ramirez.
Been around. Blue Jays have faced it before. He has pitched with the Boston Red Sox. They picked him up from the Giants. His fastball, four-seamer, and he sinks it a little bit. Slider, and he loves his changeup.
Ball bounced in the dirt. Blue Jays have scored 10 runs on 10 hits, and Ramirez making his 18th appearance of the season.
He'll get some strikeouts. You see almost 9 per 9 innings, but look what the left-handers are hitting against him. 361.
Escobar singled. Bautista walked, as did Encarnacion. The bases loaded. Arencibia is out in front of this one, and he'll reach the seats.
Ball that was in, and you can tell he is seeing the ball. Getting the head out.
JP has driven in 4 tonight. Three balls and a strike. Arencibia has hit 2 home runs in a game now 4 times. Gets a base hit right there. Escobar is in to score. Right behind him is Bautista. JP Arencibia with 6 RBI. That's a new career high.
He had 5 last April versus Minnesota, which was his career high. Goes down again and gets it. Low pitch. And he hits it hard right back through the middle. A couple more RBIs, and the Blue Jays now making it look easy. 12-1.
Then Francisco. Francisco's gone 1 for 3. Starting for a second consecutive night as the DH. He hits this one high and deep. Torres will make the catch, and the runners won't tag. First out of the inning. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Nine strikeouts, just 2 walks for Verlander through 7 innings.
Think about what we have seen so far. We're not even 2 months into the regular season. We've seen a perfect game. We've seen a 4 home run game. Saw Joey Votto have a 3-homer game and a walk-off grand slam. Who else threw a no-hitter? Weaver, right?
There's a base hit to right field. Encarnacion comes around to score. Eric Thames picks up the RBI. We told you they had their hitting shoes on tonight.
Not getting fooled by too many pitches. Thames on a pitch over the middle of the plate rips it for a single into right field to pick up the RBI, his 9th. He has been working hard with Dwayne Murphy also. He's made a couple of adjustments. You see him laying the batter on his shoulder, slowing things down. Terry Collins can only look on and say, okay.
Yan Gomes makes an inside strike. Gomes has homered, struck out, and walked. Thirteen to 1. Goes after that breaking ball. Mentioned Justin Verlander is throwing a no-hitter. He has a 15-2 record in interleague play. That's the best winning percentage. Mark Burley is 24-6. Wow.
30 decisions in interleague play.
The Jays have scored 13 runs here tonight in the first interleague game of the season. 0-2 to go. Hits it high and deep to center. Aaron Sebia is tagging up at third, and he will jog home. Gomes will pick up another RBI, his second of the night. 14 to 1 now. The Blue Jays franchise record for runs in an interleague game, 15. They did it against this Mets team July 1st of '98, Canada Day. And then they scored 15 runs against the Diamondbacks June 12, 2004. So they're just one off their franchise high in runs scored. And here comes Mr. Home Run himself. Rajai Davis with a pair of 2-run homers tonight. His first multi-home run game. Pops this one into right. Kirk Neuenhuis is calling for it, and the inning will come to an end. But the Blue Jays put up a 4 spot in the bottom half of the 6th. It's all Blue Jays, 14 to 1. Download the Rogers Live app at your app store. New pitcher is Carlos Villanueva, Ricky Romero is in line for his 5th win of the season. Villanueva will make his 12th appearance this year.
Chance to get some work in and to find it. Been better of late as Villanueva. Last time he pitched was 4 days ago, so a couple other changes now with a 14-1 lead.
Colby Erasmus comes in to take over at center. Rajai Davis gives Jose Bautista the rest of the night off in right, and second baseman Kelly Johnson will turn things over to Omar Vizquel. Scott Hairston has doubled and walked here tonight. It's a ball on the strike. Carlos Villanueva is in a tough spot on this team. He's the long man. Starters have been pitching well, and oftentimes on a given night you get past his spot in the pecking order, so it's hard to stay sharp.
And it makes it harder for him because he's a pitcher that has good curveball and a good changeup, and those are touch pitches, touch and feel, where you've got to get regular work. Like when he was in the starting rotation last year, you get regular work so you don't lose the feel of those two pitches.
He had the feel of that pitch. First out on the strikeout here in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. That doesn't sound good for the Buccos. Finishing up like that. We saw him finish up strong here last year.
Yeah, throwing about 101. That could be the 3rd no-hitter, and we're not even into June.
Yeah, and it's really amazing how the pitchers have really been dominant this year. Kirk Neuenhuis has had a rough night. 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Verlander could become the first pitcher to no-hit the Pirates since Bob Gibson did it in '71. That's a long stretch. There's a little fly ball into center. Rasmus is there.
Save during the Homeowners Day. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Great start to the weekend series. Blue Jays have pounded out 5 home runs. They've scored 14 runs on 12 hits. Rob Johnson, the catcher, 0 for 2. Ricky Romero will win his 5th game of the season. He throws 99 pitches, but he really got it together in the last 2 innings. He retired the last 6 batters he faced. He had a walk but a double play in the 5th, and then had a 1-2-3-6 with a pair of strikeouts. And I think that's what John Farrell wanted to see, just to have Ricky walk off the mound with a positive thought in his mind. 2 strikeouts in his final inning of work tonight.
Much better body language at the end of the 6th than what we saw at the end of the 5th, and that's why you run him out there. Still under 100 pitches. Maybe Ricky found something, his curveball, whatever it is, because he looked great in the 6th inning. Crisp, sharp.
Rob Johnson is at first with the 2-out walk. Number 9 hitter is Ronnie Cedeno.
something to build on for your next start. You believe in that?
Oh, absolutely.
So do I.
He will start Wednesday afternoon against the Rays in Tampa.
Probably matched up with James Shields.
Shields pitching tonight. And you know, John Farrell understands the psyche of pitchers. Keep him in a good frame of mind, and Ricky's obviously on to a great start. He's 5-1. I mean, that speaks to his talent. Marvelous pitcher, great competitor, and a battler. And he's become a winner. Bounce toward third. Yan Gomes across the diamond with plenty of arm and plenty of time. That ends the inning. BlackBerry or Android device. Listen to live radio broadcast and receive batter-by-batter information for every game. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Beautiful Friday night in Toronto. The roof is open, a good crowd on hand. 26,715, and the Blue Jays have entertained them dramatically. 5 home runs, and they've scored 14 runs, and Robert Carson is going to make his major league debut here, coming into the ball game.
He was with the Mets earlier this year, but did not get into a ball game. So you're right, this is his first shot at the big leagues. He's got a good arm, 90 to 93 miles an hour with his fastball. He's got good movement on it. Moves into the left-handers. He sinks it, so he gets a lot of ground ball outs.
Omar Vizquel. His first at bat. Vizquel came into the game defensively in the top half of this inning. Lines it just fouled on the right side. Lots of kids here tonight. There'll be a lot of kids here tomorrow on Junior Jay's Saturday, and that's a happy fan. They got a baseball souvenir. Omar Vizquel came into the game defensively in last night's game and made a terrific grab of a hot shot down to third base. Hits this ball hard on. There's Torres, backs up. He's there and makes the catch.
That play last night, I asked him about that. He said he had it all the way. Piece of cake. Boy, that was one of the best plays that we have seen for a third baseman just came into the game, and it was a left-hander who slaps it at you. You're not really expecting that from a left-handed hitter. And he dove and took it right off the carpet and took away a base hit.
Off the bat of Robinson Cano. One down. Escobar goes after the first pitch. That'll reach the seats. Yunel's 2 for 4 tonight. He's bumped his average up to 255.
Took the day off. Well, Gate was given the day off the other day by John Farrell. He had played just about every game this year, so they wanted to give him some time off. And well, he looks good since he's come back. Just that one day to refresh yourself.
It doesn't take much for an everyday player to recharge his batteries. You play every day, and Escobar starting in the 38th game at shortstop. His 38th game. And give him a day off to just free up their mind and come back a little fresher.
They'll come out, they'll take some batting practice, and they'll take their ground balls, and then you can just sit on the bench and just watch the game from a different angle. And you see things a little bit differently. Come back and it's like you're refreshed. You've got a second win.
I think the one thing all managers are aware of, if you get a player tired and worn down, then it takes a few days to get him built back up. But if you manage his time off and keep him fresh, then you never have to worry about him missing a stretch of games once he gets worn down.
People say, well, how do you get worn down playing baseball? Yeah, boy, after a few months, the travel, the routine that you get into, it's good to get a day early in May before the weather starts turning hot and you just stay fresh.
Escobar bounced to short. Valdez-Speen just in time. 2 down. We'll be right back at it tomorrow afternoon. Brandon Morrow will go to the mound for the Blue Jays. Morrow was terrific last time out, and he has really gotten things together. You talk about a guy that's sorted out his delivery. Morrow is one of those. He's got a 2.22 ERA. It'll all begin tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn, 9:30 a.m. It's all on Sportsnet 1 tomorrow. Colby Rasmus came into the game defensively. Moved into center and will bat in Jose Bautista's 3rd spot in the order. Rasmus been in a little bit of a funk. He's 0 for his last 18. His career long 0 for is an 0 for 20. It happened last year.
A little over aggressive at times. Off days are good for him also to watch the game from a different vantage point.
There are 3 places on the field you can play where you can contribute without hitting, in my estimation, as far as position players: center field, shortstop, and catcher. You can be valuable to your team with your glove in those 3 key spots, and Rasmus has been that.
Yeah, he has. He has taken away a lot of hits. He's played a great center field. Good arm.
And he'll work the walk. Comes with 2 outs. Mention Robert Carson making his major league debut here. Came up from Double-A. He's 6'4". He's now 23 years old.
Just recalled yesterday, because they have had some issues in their bullpen, and Sandy Alderson, the general manager of the Mets, has said that they might have more changes coming. It's been a rough start for the Mets in their bullpen this year.
You know, that's really interesting when you get to this point of the season and now teams are closing in on 40 games. And you look where the Mets are, and I don't know if anybody could honestly tell you they expected to be within 2.5 games of first place in the NL East. Then you start to evaluate your needs and wants. This is a high fly ball to left. Scott Hairston comes in, and the inning is over. Robert Carson has a big league inning under his belt. In the second, Aaron Sevilla for a second time. Then Rajai Davis hits the first of 2 home runs. 5 home runs on the night. The first time since September of 2010 the Blue Jays have had a 5-homer night.
Rajai Davis with his first multi-home run game in his career. Young Gomes looks like he can turn around a fastball. Also, he also showed a pretty good arm at third base.
Had a couple of real strong throws across the diamond. New pitch for the Blue Jays will be the left-hander Evan Crawford.
Crawford's been a little bit better his last few times out. He's got that ERA down to 3.6. Still has to figure out what to do with the right-handers that are hitting over 400. Pitched against the Tampa Bay Rays the last time out. That was 4 days ago, and struck out the side. 3 strikeouts in the 1 inning that he had.
Carlos Villanueva had a good inning of work. He had a walk and a strikeout in the 7th.
I've been looking at what the relievers have done so far on this homestand. The last time a reliever gave up a hit was the 9th inning on May the 15th. They have really started to find their niche down in that bullpen.
Well, it really helps too, because the starters have been so good pitching deep into the game. The relievers are all well rested. They've been getting regular work. They haven't been abused, and they know that generally when they're going to pitch.
And even with the injury to Sergio Santos right at the beginning of the season, where they had to shuffle the bullpen up just a little bit, guys had to find their way down there, and it seems to have been settled with Casey Jansen now closing, Cordero in the 8th inning, and everybody else falling in line.
Casey Jansen's been terrific. 3 for 3 in save opportunities. Andres Torres takes the leadoff walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Boy, it is something when you can no-hit a big league club. He got close again tonight. He is something else. He was throwing 100 in the 8th inning, then threw an 83-mile-an-hour curveball and an 86-mile-an-hour slider.
How about if he could have finished it off? That would have been his 3rd no-hitter in his career.
Yeah, that's pretty dominant, and we know that he is that kind of dominant.
Nolan Ryan has 7.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, 3, 2.
Did you ever hit against Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was in another world.
Yeah. I mean, he was 40-something years old.
Yeah.
I finally got to.
Yeah, he was dominant. It's the irony. The irony is the fact that he started with the Mets.
Here's an irony: the Mets have never thrown a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's the point. Nolan threw 7, and the Mets have never had one. Justin Verlander threw a no-hitter last year right here in this ballpark, and only a walk to J.P. Arancibia kept him from a perfect game. He had just one base runner. That was a 12-pitch at bat. Arancibia had fouled off several pitches and whipped him for a walk.
It looks like that last pitch that Evan Crawford threw, maybe he hurt himself, as John Farrell had Hudson around to talk to the young left-hander.
Yeah, Evan Crawford spiked that curveball hard into the dirt and then took some time. Watch the pitch. And then you can see him reaching back into the middle of his back as if something might have grabbed him. And Hap Hudson's going to make sure he is okay before they allow him to continue. Looks like he's going to throw a pitch or two here. Got to make sure it doesn't grab you again before you continue.
And you have to be honest. Young players, they want to go out there and they want to stay in the game. They don't want to go on the DL. They don't want to tell when they're injured, but you have to be honest with the manager and the trainer.
Take another look at it as he threw that, hit Justin Turner, and then walked off the mound. But you're right, that's the biggest thing. You know, young players have a tendency to think it's going to go away. It's just nothing. But indeed, if there is some pain there, which might indicate an injury, got to be honest with the trainer. So the first 2 Mets reach here in the 8th inning. Jordany Valdespin came on defensively in the 6th inning. He's hitting in David Wright's spot as Wright was lifted. And keep a close eye on Evan Crawford. If it shows any signs of any kind of injury, they won't waste any time, and they're already going to start to loosen up. Luis Perez.
Watch him on the mound. If it is his back, is he able to bend forward and get over that front leg and finish his pitches?
Finished that one and threw a strike. There's Perez just starting to loosen up. It's 14-1 Blue Jays. J.P. Arancibia got it all started with a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the first. Arancibia's been on a tear. He's driven in a career high 6 tonight. 2 home runs and a 2-run single. Rajai Davis with his first multi-home run game of his career. Center field. Rasmus has it. That's the first out. And John Farrell's coming out here, and he's got Hap Hudson with him, and they're probably going to take Crawford out of this game. There's no reason to have him jeopardize his career And Farrell's made the call for Perez. He wants Perez in the game. He gave Luis Perez a chance to get loose, and they want to make sure they check him out and that he doesn't injure himself any further. So Evan Crawford will leave. Luis Perez will come on. Pitcher is Luis Perez. He last worked on Wednesday against the Yankees. Came in to pitch the 8th inning, had a couple of strikeouts, a couple of walks. And Perez has had just 2 outings this season in which he's allowed runs.
And he'll get as many warm-up pitches as he needs as he takes over for an injured player. Evan Crawford has to walk off. So Perez will get all that he needs. And he will let the home plate umpire know, that's Mark Wagner, when he is ready. And he'll face a couple of left-handers.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Beautiful Friday night. It certainly got off on the right foot for all the Blue Jay fans here in attendance. Mets fans aren't so pleased with it. But it's the first interleague series of the season. The Mets had not played the Blue Jays since 2006. The last time they faced each other took place right here at Rogers Center. And the Mets won 2 out of 3.
Hotel's filled with Mets fans for this weekend. They're all over the ballpark. Good looking crowd tonight.
We mentioned J.P. Arencibia with 6 RBI tonight. That ties the club record for RBI by a catcher in one game. Charlie O'Brien did it on the 14th of May in 1997 against the Tigers. Ernie Witt also had 2 6 RBI games. September 12th of 87 against the Yankees and September 27th of 88 against the Red Sox. So 6 RBIs, great production, big night for J.P. Arencibia. And he's going to get to the plate in the bottom of the 8th. Lucas Duda has struck out 3 times tonight. First and second, 1 out. What's gotten lost in the night is the fact that the Mets have just 3 hits. Ricky Romero pitched 6 innings, allowed just 3 hits, 1 run, and he struck out 6.
3 hits, 3 doubles. David Wright Looped one down the right field line for the first hit. That was in the first inning. Scott Hairston and Daniel Murphy, the other batters with doubles. That's it.
Three and 0. This is what we mentioned last time. Perez had a couple of walks in his inning on Wednesday night, but he also had a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, stuff can be nasty. Lefties, righties, it doesn't matter. Lefties hitting just a 133 against Perez this year. He has also had 3 holds. John Farrell's used him a lot. He's tied for 8th in the American League in innings pitched for relievers. 19.1. That's a lot for a left-on-left specialist.
And he loses the first batter he faces here. So the Mets have had 2 walks and a hit batter here in this inning, and they have loaded the bases. There's 1 out. Daniel Murphy, as Pat mentioned, had one of the 3 Mets hits. Mets fans never give up. Good production, but he's never hit a grand slam. There's a strike.
Double play ball was good for Ricky Romero tonight. Walked the batter in the 3rd and had a comeback of that. He turned into a double play, and then he ended the 5th inning by getting Justin Turner to hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Maybe Perez can drop one here.
Ground ball. Gomes waits on it and goes to first. That was a good decision by Yan Gomes. The ball wasn't hit that hard. The Mets score their 2nd run as Torres comes in to score. Gomes goes across the diamond for the put-up.
Counting outs. That's what you're looking for right now. Don't need to be a hero and trying to make something out of nothing that's there. Just get the out.
Scott Hairston 1 for 2 with a walk. Sometimes these innings can be difficult for relief pitchers that come into a game, and it's basically been decided. It's 14-2, but Perez is having trouble throwing strikes. There's no changeup.
You know he wants to save these runs for his bullpen mate. Perez has done a good job. Inherited runners 13 this year. Only 1 of them has scored before that last one. Trying to pick up his teammate. Leave those runners standing out there.
Evan Crawford started the inning. He walked the first batter he faced. He hit Justin Turner, the 2nd batter. And when he hit Turner, it looked like he injured his back. And then he would retire Valdespin, but John Farrell removed him from the game at that point. 26,715 here tonight. Last night, over 31,000 to see the Blue Jays sweep the Yankees. Back-to-back day games coming up Saturday and Sunday. Blue Jays will ramp up this 7-game homestand and then head down to Tropicana Field to take on the Rays for 3. And then over to Arlington for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series against the Rangers. Ball is hit high and deep to right. Rajai Davis back. This ball is gone. Scott Hairston, a 3-run opposite field home run. His 3rd homer of the season.
Challenges him with a fastball away. Scott Hairston drops the head of the bat on that ball. Perez giving up just 1 home run this year. Before that home run by Scott Hairston.
Kirk Neuenhuis, the right fielder. He's 0 for 3 so far. Scott Hairston, as we mentioned, his 3rd homer of the season. Terry Collins Ball Club, that's just the 25th home run they have hit as a team this year. That's looped down the left field line. That's a foul ball.
Perez has a strikeout pitch. He's got a pretty good slider. Been throwing his changeup at times to both lefties and righties, but he's got a good strikeout pitch in that slider. Not a bad time to use it right here.
2-2, 2 outs. Mets have scored 4 here in the top of the 8th. And there's a fastball, and Neuenhuis strikes out for a 2nd time tonight. That wraps up the 8th inning. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Up this week's Sportsnet magazine on newsstands now and read about some of the crazy spending of your favorite athletes. New pitcher for the Mets is the catcher, Rob Johnson. And he throws a first pitch strike. That's what we always tell pitchers, throw that first pitch over, and when you're a catcher you better do it.
He's got a chance to show it off right here.
J.P. Arencibia pops up. Jonathan Neese, the starter, went 3 innings, and not wanting to go any deeper into his bullpen. Mike Nickius comes out of the dugout to catch.
It's the right thing to do, I think. When you're down like this, you've got to save some arms. This is his first career pitching appearance. Johnson, who started the game as a catcher, with a pop-up. You said it earlier this game about wearing out your bullpen in the first game of a series. So you got to save your bullets.
Yep, yeah, somebody to go out there and throw it over, and catchers often do this. I actually did this once in a ball game in Kansas City. I was the third position player to pitch in one game.
What was the score of that game?
Oh, it was lopsided. We had 4 innings pitched by position players. Sal Bando pitched 2 innings. Jim Gantner pitched an inning, and I pitched an inning.
How'd you do?
I gave up with him.
What?
I'd have been out of the inning if Bando would have turned a double play.
It's always someone else's fault, isn't it? Oh, there you go.
I walked Willie Wilson to lead off the inning.
Mistake.
That was a big mistake. Yeah. He came around to score.
I never got to pitch. I always wanted to pitch.
Oh, it was a blast. Ray Fosse was my catcher.
Oh. Did he put something down other than a 1?
Oh, we threw everything. Yeah, I threw a palm ball, threw a couple breaking balls. Got Amos Otis to pop up on a palm ball.
And you were laughing?
Oh, I was laughing.
Ex-teammate?
Actually, I was tired. I'd warmed up for about 4 innings. George Bamberger came out to the mound. Paul Mitchell was pitching, and he took the ball from Mitchell and handed it to Bando. So Bando literally went from third to the mound right in the middle of the inning. Eric Thames strikes out. Rob Johnson gets his first big league strikeout. We'll go to the 9th. It's all Blue Jays. Making his 16th appearance. He has a 1-2 record. ERA is over 7.5. And he's been hit hard. His whip is up over 2. John Farrell removed him from the closer's role and suggested maybe an opportunity to work in less pressurized situations. He would be able to come around.
And finding some innings for him. And he's throwing the ball a little bit better. About 93 miles an hour. He'll sink it, throw a little bit of a slider. And now the pitcher gets the hit.
I actually hit in that game as well.
Did you really?
I had a base hit and an RBI. I came in to hit in the 9th inning. I pitched the bottom of the 8th and then got a base hit in the top of the 9th.
Did you keep the box score?
No.
I'm going to look that up tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got a 9 ERA. Yeah, Bando pitched, I want to say, at least an inning in 2/3. And Gantner pitched an inning. Bob Johnson, a big hop for Escobar at shortstop. I didn't get a strikeout, though. Rob Johnson has a strikeout.
Did we hear what the miles per hour was?
86. That brings it into perspective. Pitchers, they throw in the low 90s, and good pitchers will get it 96, 97. That's 10 more miles an hour.
That's pretty good.
86 is real good.
Yeah, for a guy who's never pitched before.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can remember trying to throw with a radar gun and hit 85 maybe. I don't remember hitting 86. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It just shows you how hard it is to hit big league pitching.
Well, it shows you how hard it is to use your legs, get everything in there, and the stress that's put on your arm just to throw a baseball.
Ronnie Cedeno, another big hop for the shortstop Escobar. 2 quick outs here in the ninth.
Better bite on his breaking ball that we are seeing from Cordero. That's a good sign. I was talking to him in Anaheim and said, did you ever used to throw a split finger fastball? And he just started laughing because everybody thought it was a splitter. It was a slider.
Yeah.
And that's how nasty that was when he was younger.
So it's like Juan Guzman. Everybody thought Guzman throw a splitter.
Same thing. I mean, it's so tight and it breaks so late. He said, you're not the first one to think I was throwing a split. Heck, I played with Guzman and I thought it was a splitter.
Went straight down. 1-1 to Andres Torres. Two and two. First of 3 games against the New York Mets. Blue Jays with 5 home runs tonight. Torres will take a 2-out walk. He's walked 3 times tonight. Justin Turner's had a rough night. Faced his former teammate Ricky Romero. He lined out to second baseman and grounded into 2 double plays against Romero.
And then got hit.
Yep. He'll be buying dinner the rest of their time here in Toronto. Romero went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, just 1 earned run. They walked 4 but struck out 6.
I like how Ricky finished tonight.
Yeah.
He finished with a flurry. Strong, couple of strikeouts to end it.
Mets are down to their final strike. Popped in the air. Rajai Davis is there, and he makes the catch. The Blue Jays win it. 14-5. 14 runs on 12 hits and 5 home runs.
That's the big thing. The Blue Jays home run bats came out tonight. J. Pierre and Seaver got them off to a good start with that 3-run home run in the first inning, and they just kept hitting all the way through the game today, flexing their muscles.
Good night to start the series. Blue Jays win in a laugher. We'll be right back tomorrow afternoon. Game time 107. Stay tuned. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zarn will break it all down.